see.
You're watching News Channel 3, the spirit of the North Coast.
Students within the CSU system are upset over a tuition hike. Good evening, I'm Christian Lightson.
And I'm Preston Phillips. This is News Channel 3 at 6 for a Wednesday night. California State University students are writing letters in protest of the 10% tuition fee increase. Over 7,000 letters are being sent to Lieutenant Governor John Garamendi from students throughout the state. The Cal State Board of Trustees approved the increase. Garamendi, who was a trustee, voted against it. Humboldt State University students will be affected by the increase in addition to the student fee hike that was imposed by HSU administration last month.
I don't think it's fair because a lot of the money, I guess, they're increasing our tuition because of the budget deficit or whatever's going on, and it's kind of ridiculous, but you know, I can't do it. I hope it changes, but if it doesn't, then it's going to suck next year.
Students attending community colleges in California can expect to pay less for classes in 2008 because of a new statewide initiative. Joel Weaver explains.
Affordability, we believe, is the key for many people.
And now, thanks to a statewide initiative, community colleges like College of the Redwoods will be just that, affordable.
Community College Initiative, as it's being called, has just qualified to be on the state election that will be occurring February 5th, 2008. And it's basically to provide financial stability for the community college system.
The measure will require that as the student population grows, so will the level of funding, and the cost for each class will be significantly lowered.
The enrollment fees would decrease from its current $20 per unit to $15 per unit.
It also prohibits the legislature from increasing fees in the future by more than the change in per capita personal income. And if there is an increase, students must be given 60 days notice.
And the initiative requires that if we're going to change that we know in advance, like in June of each year before the fall semester starts, so people wouldn't have any surprises.
Because community colleges have always been considered grades 13 and 14 of high school, they've received 10.5% to 11% of funding for kindergarten through 12th grade. However, the initiative would now separate the two.
We are a community college now rather than part of the K through 12 system, and that's why this initiative is needed to recognize some of the differences.
The initiative won't be placed on the ballot until the next statewide election on February 5th of 2008. Therefore, changes in the fees won't go into effect until the start of the 2008-2009 school year. For News Channel 3, I'm Jill Weaver.
Well, the Eureka Fire Department said goodbye to a longtime assistant fire chief who was leaving for another department in Southern California. As Eric Cook explains, his departure is nothing new for a department that continues to struggle with staffing.
Assistant Fire Chief Rick Bennett celebrated his final day at the Eureka Fire Department this afternoon. Bennett is on his way to Clovis, California, but says leaving his post here in Eureka is bittersweet.
Great experiences here, and I'm not looking forward to leaving. I like working here.
He came in at a time where I really needed somebody to take the challenge of being the fire marshal and excelled in that.
Now Bennett leaves a department that is looking to fill at least 5 vacancies, including his own as both assistant fire chief and fire marshal.
Right now, we're really experiencing a number of separations related to compensation.
It's believed that Bennett will make at least 40% more working for the Clovis Fire Department, but Bennett isn't the first to leave for greener pastures.
In addition to Rick's leaving, we have a number of fire captains that have left or are leaving, 2 of which have taken jobs with CAL FIRE, CDF, in Humboldt County that make $2,000 more a month.
Eureka City Manager says the city's deal with the fire department compares favorably with most other local departments, but he says he knows Eureka is outmatched when compared to other departments across the state.
When it comes to competing with areas like Southern California or even the Bay Area, we can't compete. We don't have the population, and we don't have the income here at the city to do that.
But Bennett says it's not always the money alone that makes a job appealing.
When you're testing for a job anywhere, the employer is looking at you to see if you fit the organization. Well, you're also looking at that employer to see if they fit your needs and demands.
He says it's the community that will draw more people to the fire department. Still, many inside the department say replacing people like Bennett will be an uphill battle.
As if we don't have enough challenges, the hill just got a little bit steeper this week.
In Eureka, Eric Cook, News Channel 3.
Last night, a measure that will increase residential property tax assessments in southern Humboldt by $25 was passed. And tonight, Jill Weaver reports on what residents in Garberville are saying about the increase.
We're delighted that it passed because we now have a mandate from the people that we be here.
Workers at Gerald Phelps Community Hospital in Garberville are breathing a sigh of relief this morning. Last night, they learned that 75% of voters in southern Humboldt County voted yes to Measure Z, increasing property tax assessment by 25%.
We now have the ability to know the future and to see that we will be able to meet our bottom line.
Had Measure Z not passed, the hospital would have had to plan a strict budget, which could have meant eliminating areas that cost the most, specifically the emergency room, which means those in need of urgent care would have to travel to Fortuna or Willits. Those who have relied on the Gerald Phelps ER in the past are pleased with the vote.
I myself appreciate it. We needed an emergency of some kind down here. We're far away from the bigger hospitals.
Still, others feel their money is being wasted.
Rather than being efficient and working for the money, they expect it, and then they don't do anything, and then they want more. And even if you do go into the emergency room, it takes hours to be seen anyway, so you might as well go to Fortuna.
But Deborah Scaife says they already know of 2 ways the monies collected by the tax will be used.
Keep this place operating as efficient as possible and think to the future with your earthquake retrofit.
The tax will be collected along with Mendocino and Humboldt County general taxes starting in the 2007-2008 fiscal year and lasting through the 2017-2018 fiscal year. In Garberville, Jill Weaver, News Channel 3.
Well, Humboldt Sunshine's not giving up on its efforts to change the Humboldt County housing plan. The county moved to strike the case last week, and the judge granted its motion, but now Humboldt Sunshine says it will amend and refile its complaint before the 30-day deadline. Humboldt Sunshine wants the county to revisit its housing plan to make more areas available for development. The county says its plan has been approved by the state after multiple reviews and expects discussion of the housing element to be a big part of the general plan update process that is currently underway.
Coming up, Humboldt State's graduation is just days away. We'll have the details.
Plus, new buses make their mark on Humboldt County streets. When we return, we'll tell you how this change in public transportation is helping reduce harmful emissions.
Just some scattered bits of sunshine along the 101 corridor today as the low clouds and fog continue to prevail. We'll take a look at what you can expect through the weekend coming up in your complete forecast. But right now, let's have a look at our 3-degree contestant for tonight. That would be Sue LaFranchi of Blue Lake with a prize pool of $30 from Redwood Coast Cellular. We'll see how my forecast for Eureka held up coming up in just a few minutes.
This is News Channel 3 at 6. News, weather, and sports for the North Coast with Christian Lightson, Preston Phillips, Jim Bernard with weather, and Manny Machado with sports. The most watched news 7 nights a week. News Channel 3, the spirit of the North Coast.
We have 2 kids, right?
Yeah. Those others are the Hendersons' kids.
Honey?
And the Hendersons. And Grandma.
Word travels fast. Hometown Buffet introduces Rancher Select, our new 1-inch signature steak, marinated for bigger, bolder taste. Come back for riblets and our classic barbecue spare ribs, plus desserts and beverages are included. Make dinner time family time at Hometown Buffet.
The team at Harper Motors just heard they're getting the all-new Ford Super Duty.
This truck is bigger, faster, and stronger than anything out there.
Trevor's right. It really is bigger. It really is faster. And it really is stronger.
Cross over the bridge to Harper Motors and test drive your new Super Duty.
The Trinidad Fish Festival is celebrating its 50th anniversary.
We hope you'll join us for this very special occasion.
Sunday, June 10th, right here in scenic Trinidad. News Channel 3 is proud to be a sponsor of this North Coast tradition. I'm Kara Artman.
I'm Mike Morgan.
And I'm Kelly Jordan. We're board members of the Trinidad Chamber of Commerce.
It's a day of music, games, crafts, and a sock hop.
All with a 50s theme. Tour the Trinidad Head Lighthouse and see the Coast Guard Rescue demo.
And of course, we'll have lots of fish.
Help celebrate the 50th Trinidad Fish Festival in the spirit of the North Coast.
Night. Medium is all new. Save the life of her new friend.
How can you be so sure?
Allison puts her own life on the line. Nev Campbell guest stars. All new Medium till the end of the season. Tonight at 10/9 Central on NBC.
New diesel-electric hybrid buses have begun making their routes around Humboldt County. The Redwood Transit System in the city of Eureka received a total of 5 environmentally friendly buses that are expected to reduce emissions by 90%. Hybrids have a smaller diesel engine and run in part on electricity. The Redwood Transit System says it hopes to replace all 12 remaining diesel buses with hybrids within 10 years. Transit System representatives add the new buses have multiple advantages.
You don't have to negotiate stairs. It pulls up to the curb and is almost even with the curb, and you just walk right on the bus, which is great for people carrying packages and strollers, that sort of thing. And there are no wheelchair lifts. It's a ramp that just folds out, so they don't have to cycle the lift. It's a lot faster and easier for wheelchair accessibility.
The Klamath River Early College of the Redwoods is now fully accredited, a year ahead of schedule. The school opened its doors 2 years ago to students whose goal is to complete high school and 2 years of college at the same time. The Western Association of Schools and Colleges evaluated the school and gave it its highest accreditation, a ranking that will help all students when applying for higher education.
Our transcript will be accepted at any private public university in the nation. That means that our students can take our transcript here, to Stanford, to Berkeley, to Yale, to Harvard, and that that's the stamp of approval that we have a legitimate program.
The Klamath River Early College of the Redwoods is accepting applications. If you're interested, you should call 482-1737.
Meanwhile, as the school year comes to an end, planning for next school year begins. After a day of self-evaluation and reflection of the 2006-2007 school year, the Eureka City Schools Board put together a list of 5 areas they'd like the new superintendent, Greg Hawk, to focus on, including improving communication between staff and the community, continuing facility discussions, and working to improve student achievement. Hawk,
important as a superintendent,
meeting.
Board's priorities are. And so I think he's going to be grateful, actually, for the work they've done, so that when he gets here, he really will have a good idea of what they feel is important, and then he'll build on that.
No decisions were made today. School ends on June 15th. Jones says she will step back into retirement at the end of June. Hawk's 3-year tenure begins July 1st.
3 days until commencement at Humboldt State University. Kara Artman tells us how the preparations are going.
So far, so good for commencement this Saturday at Humboldt State University.
This is the funnest time of Humboldt State's academic year. This is when we all celebrate. This is why we're here. And planning so far, knock on wood, it's going pretty well.
HSU staff is preparing for over 20,000 people to watch over 2,000 graduates cross the stage.
Each college has their own. So the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences has their own celebration at 8:30. Then College of Professional Studies has theirs at noon, and College of Natural Resources and Sciences has theirs at 3:30. Now this year we have something new that we haven't had in a while. We have a guest speaker coming, and she's Margaret Davidson. She's Executive Director of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And she's from the Bay Area, and she's coming up to talk about how really special it is that we live along the coastline, how we need to really guard our coastline, protect it, and how lucky we are to be here.
Ceremonies will take place in the Redwood Bowl, rain or shine. In case you cannot make it in person, there is a way you can still be a part of the ceremonies.
We're also going to be doing a web stream again this year, so people anywhere can be able to come to humboldt.edu and watch the ceremony live. So, and they can also watch it on Channel 12. It's going to be live in the afternoon and also again in the evening.
If you are attending, organizers caution everyone to arrive early and allot time for parking.
It's going to be a madhouse as far as parking. There are 2 lots. You want to park in the one near the Student Business Services, or you want to park at the one at 14th and Union. There'll be shuttle buses running every 6 minutes. That's the easiest way to get up here.
For News Channel 3, I'm Kara Artman.
Big question, Jim, is it going to be nice?
Depends on what you consider nice, right, Jim?
What'd Jane say? She said it was sunny, right?
Well, today.
Yeah. Actually, there's a chance of showers, but they don't want to hear about that, so we'll go along.
Bring the umbrellas.
Yeah, and say it's going to be nice. shouldn't amount to much. If the rain does develop, possibly a little drizzle in the morning. Other than that, we'll look for a classic North Coast weather pattern for the weekend, which means low clouds and fog will hang around. I'll have the rest of the forecast details, including the graduation forecast, coming up for you in just a few minutes. But right now, let's take a look at our weather quiz for tonight. Okay, it's the time of year again for thunderstorms and lightning strikes. Can carrying a cell phone increase your chances of being struck by lightning? What do you think? Yes or no? Well, it depends on if you've still got the old shoe phone or the little one. Anyway, take a guess. We'll talk more about it coming up in a few minutes. Right now, have a look at your current conditions, followed by your stock update for tonight.
Investors since 1871. Kathy Holt, Patricia Diaz, Scott Wheeler, Sarah Walker, Brian Plumley, and Hank Wood. Financial consultants serving the North Coast.
Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Little Red Riding Hood.
Dear Red, I need a new bed. Meet me at Delta Mattress. Love, Grandma.
Little Red Riding Hood skipped down to Delta Mattress and Sofa Factory Outlet Store on 4th and R Streets in the lovely town of Eureka.
My, what a comfy bed you have.
All the better to get a good night's sleep. And they all lived happily ever after.
In January 1968, after more than 10 years as one of Ivor Isaacson and Ford Motor Company's top salesmen, Opie Hendricks opened his own car lot. 39 years have passed, and we have something important to tell our customers.
Grazie. Opie God. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
To celebrate, Opie has lowered prices. Used cars below Kelley Blue Book retail and new cars below MSRP. Opie Chevrolet Buick and used cars up on the hill in McKinleyville, where the coffee's always on and the prices are always low.
News Channel 3 weather is brought to you tonight by Wildberries Marketplace.
Wildberries Marketplace is all about choice. At Wildberries, you'll find all the conventional products you've come to know and trust, as well as helpful, natural, and organic choices throughout the store. Whether you're craving a Ritz cracker or you're looking for fresh organic veggies, Wildberries has it all. From the Wild Platter Cafe to the wide, thoughtfully laid out grocery aisles, Wildberries gives you the choices you want. Wildberries, top of the hill, G Street, Arcata.
Extensive fog bank up against the west coast today. We're looking at a bit of clearing taking place to our north here across the Oregon border, southern Oregon, working its way in our direction. We saw a little sunshine peeking out here late this afternoon. We'll look for the low clouds to fill in again tonight. And out over the high country of the Trinity Alps, a few buildups out there tonight extending up past Mount Shasta and into southern Oregon, with the potential for some thunderstorm activity continuing into the early morning hours. Temperatures today cooler throughout the region. Coast side 56 on Humboldt Bay, 54 out at the airport, as was Oric and Crescent City, Brookings for that matter, also 54 today. Willow Creek at 86, Garberville 81, and Redding 87. We'll look for those interior temperatures to cool a few degrees again tomorrow. Mid to low 80s likely to prevail, while we stay in the mid to upper 50s here at the coast. A few low 60s thrown in there, like Blue Lake. Fortuna may actually get to 60 tomorrow. Shelter Cove, look at that, 68 down there today, as again they saw some good sunshine just south of Cape Mendocino. That wasn't the case around Humboldt Bay for most of the day. You can see the fog bank is quite extensive throughout the state here, extending down into the Southland as well. However, they are picking up a little more afternoon clearing down there than we have of late. We'll look for the low cloud pattern to hang on pretty much through the weekend. As you can see, it's quite extensive in the offshore waters. This weak little ripple crossing through the area tonight resulted in some clearing along the southern Oregon coast. It's also responsible for the buildups out over the high country. Once it leaves, the fog will settle back in for the weekend here, with just partial bits of afternoon clearing expected along the 101 corridor, and the potential for a bit of fog drip out there in the early morning hours through the weekend. Here's a pretty well-formed frontal system that's marching across the Pacific. At this point, we won't see any effect from that until probably early next week. So we'll look for the low cloud deck to be with us on and off here pretty much through the weekend. Elsewhere across the nation, strong thunderstorms once again across central Texas into Arkansas and Louisiana. Pretty quiet for the rest of the country, with our lows for tonight expected once again to be in the mid to upper 40s coast side, upper 40s to low 50s across the interior, with daytime highs tomorrow. A little warmer than today. Still looking for some afternoon mixing out there to bring the sunshine in a little earlier. So let's call it mid to upper 50s at the coast. A few low 60s sprinkled in here and there, while the interior continues to feel the effects of that coastal fog bank. They will cool into the upper 70s to low 80s for tomorrow. Then we'll look for a gradual warm-up across the interior through the weekend. Friday night into Saturday, another one of those weak ripples headed our way, which could bring a chance of some measurable precip into the area just in time for graduation. You notice they were putting the tarps up out on the track. As always, they're planning accordingly. That precipitation won't amount to much, and it'll probably look more like drizzle than anything else here at the coast, resulting in a few clouds across the interior into the weekend, and then we see things warming up again into the beginning of next week. So slowly but surely we're shifting into a summer mode across the region.
Looking forward to it, Jim.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
All right, thanks.
Manny Machado's here with sports. The HSU softball team. It's tournament time.
Yeah, the West Region Tournament begins tomorrow, and Turlock will be to return tonight. The Giants look to get back in the win column, facing the Mets. And Doug Flutie is the newest member of the College Football Hall of Fame. Stay with us. Sports is next.
This is a legal announcement. If you're suffering from mesothelioma, call the nationally acclaimed law offices of Whites and Luxembourg, who have successfully represented thousands of asbestos victims all over America, winning verdicts in excess of $500 million. Call now to see if you're entitled to compensation for your pain and suffering. It's not too late to protect your family's financial future. Call Whites and Luxembourg right now for a free and confidential consultation. Call 1-800-950-6365. That's 1-800-950-6365.
The Spa at Personal Choice invites you to restore yourself under a Vichy shower. Experience Bolano therapy, relax under our skin canopy, hot stone therapy, a massage suite for two, Ayurvedic treatments, facials, microdermabrasion. Our specialty, spa pedicures. Have a spa party. Give a gift certificate. Make a reservation for some much-needed relaxation. Experience the Spa at Personal Choice, 130 G Street in the Vance Hotel.
Hey, Mom and Dad, it's me, Sarah. Thinking about staying over at Ashley's tonight. Hope that's okay with you guys. It's just us girls. We're probably just going to rent some movies and get a few pizzas. Nothing big. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
In Humboldt County, call 866-809-4372.
News Channel 3 Sports is brought to you tonight by Peterson Tractor.
Legendary Power have joined forces, introducing the Cat E-Series backhoe loader. With best-in-class breakout force to help you move material faster. With the exclusive AccuGrade option that eliminates costly survey crews. And with 10% better fuel economy than any other brand. The Cat E-Series not only upholds its family name, it redefines what a backhoe loader can do for you.
Ask about 0% financing on the new Caterpillar E-Series loaders.
Welcome back, everyone. The postseason continues for the Humboldt State softball team. The Lady Jacks are just one tournament away from heading to nationals. Our Brian Goldman has a preview.
There's nothing out there we're afraid of. We don't care. You know, they're afraid of us.
Frank Cheeks, the head coach of the Humboldt State softball team. His Lady Jacks will begin playing the West Region tournament tomorrow.
Fear doesn't exist in this program. If you have fear, you're not playing here.
HSU's the top seed. The top seed has a first right to host regionals, as the Lady Jacks proved this past week, winning the CC2A tournament. They are very good at home. As far as hosting regionals go, though, with graduation also this weekend, the school had to pass.
We got to put that behind us. I mean, it's not going to happen, and we knew that from day one, and we haven't dwelled on that. We're not going to dwell on it now.
So what does the team dwell on? The teams that will be facing in Turlock, home of the region's second-best team, Cal State Stanislaus.
We've seen more of these teams. Instead of playing in the GNAC and seeing all the Washington teams, now we played these teams before, and so I think we're a lot better prepared for them this year.
More prepared than last year, when the team only made it to the third day of regionals.
We're healthy. Last year, Lizzie was not feeling good at all, and actually had gone to the hospital 3 days before. She's better. She's healthy.
He's given me some time off in practice, so my arm stays fresh for the weekends.
With the West Region Pitcher of the Year ready to go, what does the team have to watch out for? Protecting the West Region Player of the Year, Natalie Galletley.
We don't have a good hitter behind Galletley. We're going to suffer. They're going to hit her. She's been hit I don't know how many times. They're throwing her high inside. If we get a good hitter behind them and they respect that hitter, they got to pitch to her.
Recently, all of the HSU hitters have been on a tear, as the Lady Jacks have won 11 straight heading into this week.
Coming around just at the right time. We just keep doing what we're doing. We will take it.
The Lady Jacks will play their first game tomorrow at 11:30 against Seattle. For News Channel 3 Sports, I'm Brian Goldman.
Matt Morris is showing why the Giants signed him last season to a 3-year, $27 million contract. Morris is 4-1 in 6 starts this season. He was trying to remain perfect at home this afternoon as the Giants wrapped up a 3-game series with the Mets. Top of the 4th, Carlos Delgado sends the Morris offering into McCovey Cove. And we have a splashdown. The solo home run gives New York a 2-0 lead. Those were the only runs Morris would allow in 7 innings of work. We move to the 5th, the Mets with a 2-1 lead, but not for long. Dave Roberts showing some rare power with a 2-run homer to the right field stand. San Francisco goes ahead 3-2, but the Giants bullpen couldn't hold the lead. Tying at 3 in the 9th. David Wright doubles to left, scoring a pair. 5-3 New York. They go on to win by that same count. San Francisco has now lost 4 of its last 5 games. Doug Flutie heads up the newest class of the College Football Hall of Fame. The 1984 Heisman Trophy winning quarterback out of Boston College was elected in his first year of eligibility. The 5'10" Flutie passed for more than 10,000 yards in his college career and went on to play 13 seasons in the NFL and 8 in the Canadian Football League. So good for him.
There you have it, Manny. Thanks. We'll be right back.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Nitro. Be careful, it's loaded.
Tonight, it's an all-new Thank God You're Here with Paul Rodriguez as Tyrannosaurus Rex. All new Thank God You're Here tonight on NBC.
Then, on Crossing Jordan, a father's dying wish to see his daughter.
Find her, please.
But was she his killer? And on Medium, to save the life of her new friend, Allison puts the lives of everyone around her
I've seen things
on the line. It's all new tonight on NBC.
Thursday, the entire season's led to this moment.
Go away for lunch.
Joy's trial in the Earl season finale. And what Earl does is bigger than anything on his list.
What are you doing?
Then it's an office retreat.
You just got to get your freak on.
Where the truth comes out.
I've been trying to be more honest lately, and I just need to say a few things.
And the scrub shocker leading to the season finale.
What could I possibly say?
I think there might be something in my uterus. All new comedy Thursday on NBC.
This year's commencement marks the 20th anniversary of the graduation pledge at Humboldt State. Every year, HSU graduates are asked to take a pledge of social and economic responsibility. To commemorate the pledge's 20th birthday, each graduate will receive a pin to wear during commencement. Two Humboldt State alumni came up with the idea for the pledge in 1987 to make sure students took what they learned at HSU with them to their careers.
About what they can contribute to the world after they leave. It's about not forgetting your values here at college. It's about taking those into the world. And if we start having mass people graduating with taking their values into their workplace and not putting them in their back pocket, we're going to start changing corporate culture. We're going to start changing the way people are being hired. We're going to start changing the world.
130 other universities have adopted the pledge worldwide, including Harvard and Stanford universities here in the United States.
All right. Sounds like a pretty good program to me.
And once again, it'll be bright and sunny and lovely weather for commencement.
Well, it's always good to prepare for the rain.
Not your mortarboard makes an excellent umbrella.
Yes, it does. That's why they have those big square things on the hats. Could be a bit of some light precipitation out there. Let's take a look at our weather quiz for tonight. According to lightning experts at the University of Florida, no, your cell phone will not have any outcome on your likelihood to be struck by lightning. Sue LaFrancia, Blue Lake wins the desk calendar from Redwood Coast Cellular, so we'll add another $30 in the prize pool come tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 11.
We'll see you then.
Good night.
Happy